Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Playership Podcast, Cave Sessions, episode number 22. Yep, 22.
Wow.
I am your host, Aaron Warwick, and with me, of course, is the no longer in her 20s, Emma.
Shut up.
Hello, Em. How are you?
Riveting.
Riveting. Yeah, tremendous. Sorry, it's been about 4 weeks since the last episode.
Oh, it's been longer than that.
Maybe 5.
It's been a lot longer than that.
I'll give it 5. I think it's 4 or 5.
It was like 2 weeks before my birthday.
Which was like 2 weeks ago.
No, it wasn't. It was about 5 weeks ago anyway. Carry on. Why are we counting?
Anyway, moving on.
It's been a while.
So, first thing, Em, what have we been up to? Well, let me tell you. It's been a little while, so we've done a few things. One, Em's had a birthday, as we mentioned. She is no longer in her 20s. She is now 30. Emma, how does it feel to be in the 30 club? No longer there by myself.
That's right, you're closer to 40 than I am.
Doesn't matter. Whenever anyone asks me my age, I am never the age that I'm turning. But I don't know why people say that.
They say you're the age you're... Isn't it the age of the...
Yeah, it's not the age you feel, it's the age of the person you're feeling. So I'm 30.
You're welcome.
I don't know what I'm saying. Oh, anyway, people always say, "Oh, how old are you?" And then people will say, "Oh, I'm nearly 38." I'm not nearly 30. I'm just 37. Actually, I got a couple of years back because the last couple of years I've actually said, "Oh, I'm 38," but I'm not. I'm actually a year ahead of myself. So I keep getting a year back on my birthday. It's actually wonderful. Maybe I should just keep saying that every year. But no, I am 37, not nearly 38. I'm 37, simple as that. And Em has just turned the magical 30. But how does it feel, Em, to be in the 30 club?
Different. Everything still hurts the same.
I don't know. I swear when I hit 30, everything started to hurt so much more. Back problems came out of nowhere. I'd never had any back problems, and I turned 30 and look out. Sucks. Not fun. But how was your birthday?
Good.
That's it.
No.
Just good. She's got a surprise party. She's got all sorts of things.
To it.
Why wouldn't we?
Because they're not here to talk about my birthday.
Why not? You just turned 30 and the people want to know how it was.
It's good. I woke up. It was like balloons everywhere and banners and my presents were all laid nicely on the table. And I went and had breakfast and then I had a full body massage. When I got my hair done, got my makeup done, went to stay in a hotel, and then went to dinner and there was a bunch of people there waiting for me. And then we went out to the casino afterwards, didn't lose any money but didn't win any money. Yeah. And then the next day went out and used the best rollerblades ever.
The best rollerblades ever. What were they, Em?
They're Barbie and Parlor rollerblades.
If anyone's seen the Barbie movie, I don't know how many of our listeners,
I don't think
viewers,
many.
Well, actually have seen the Barbie movie. You would have noticed the Barbie rollerblades where Barbie and Ken were rollerblading down whatever beach it was that they were in.
Venice Beach.
It looked like Venice Beach, wasn't it? Yeah. Can't remember if it was part of Barbie Land or if it was... No, it wasn't. Yeah,
no, they'd
it was
left
Venice
Barbie
Beach.
Land.
Yeah, so we've been to Venice Beach. It was cool. So it was actually cool seeing that. You would notice those bright fluoro yellow Barbie rollerblades. And as soon as Em saw those at the movie, just bam! She did the claw thing that we talked about previously. The death grip. And she just grabbed me and was like, "Oh my God, I want those. I need them. I had those."
Yeah, no, I didn't have them. I had the Barbie back in 2000. I got gifted a Barbie for Christmas and she was rollerblade Barbie and they're the rollerblades she had. And the fact that I can have rollerblades that my favourite Barbie doll had. Yeah.
So, of course, that was me knowing at that exact moment what I needed to go out and buy him for her birthday. So made it easy.
So
Unfortunately,
much
I
fun.
did see how much they cost when I had to find out
Sorry.
when I had to buy them. So, but that's all right. It's well worth it. You only turn 30 once, right?
Yes, and you get to the joy of me rollerblading around.
It's kind of funny.
I'm actually not too bad.
No, it could be a lot worse. There was a girl rollerblading the next day, I think it was, at the Burswood around the stadium, which it's clearly her first time ever. So it could have been as bad as that.
I was a bit wobbly at the beginning, and then it's not too bad.
Mm.
I'm just not very good at going down hills.
Yeah, well, that's fair enough. It does get pretty fast.
I haven't learned how to use my brakes yet.
What else have we been up to? Milo swallowed a fish hook. So we went fishing. I bought Em a fishing rod as well for her birthday because we decided we wanted to start going fishing and having a bit more fun. We decided to take Milo beach fishing because we haven't taken her fishing yet.
It's like 10 o'clock at night because it's just easier for us. Yeah, so we took her.
And you've always talked to me about this bloody story of your old dog, swallowing a fish hook back when you guys went fishing with her. So you almost talked this into existence.
No, well, yeah. So we rocked up at the beach, and I said, as we were walking down the beach, I said, we better be careful because when I was a kid, we used to drive on the beach, and Mum had her rod in a rod holder, and she had prawns still sitting on her hook, but the line was all the way down and sitting on the sand, and all of a sudden we've gone, fuck, the dog's bloody eaten the hook. Cut the line, went to the vet, and the vet was like, it seems to be all good. You've just got to wait for it to pass. So Mum had to check the dog's shit every day. And I was like, let's not do that. And then we were fishing, having a grand old time, and you caught a fish. And because we didn't have rod holders at this point, I put my rod down. Once we threw the fish back, next minute, I'm looking over and Milo's pulling some funny faces. And I was like, fuck off. Here we go. So I've grabbed her. I've grabbed the line. We've got no light because it's pitch black. We had no torch. We had no knife. We had no scissors. So we're trying to get her to spit it out. I'm trying to get my hands in there. She almost pierced my thumb, crunching down on my finger. And all of a sudden the line snapped. I think she must have bitten it. And then she started doing zoomies. So we're like, okay, which is obviously all right. And then we stopped off at Macca's, got her a meat patty. She ate. So I was like, there's nothing wrong with her. Obviously, that's it. I'm checking her shit every day from now. And then we woke up the next morning and she was not good. She normally wakes up, sees me, goes, oh my God, Mum's awake. Let's go get breakfast. Wouldn't move. Breathing funny, like hyperventilating and stuff. And so I was like, need to make a decision. So off to the vet we went. $1,065 something odd dollars later, they did x-rays and it was lodged in the back of her throat. It was lodged in the back of her tongue, right at the back of her throat. So obviously as she swallowed it and I've grabbed the line and she pulled away from me, I've hooked her up. But apparently that's best case scenario because worst case scenario is if she'd swallowed it and it got caught in her stomach or her intestines, minimum you're looking at about $6,000.
But that's not the worst part. The worst part would have been, she could have been in some serious trouble, danger.
Oh,
and a lot of pain as well.
Well, apparently as well, if it was a rusty fish hook, she could have had all sorts of problems. But because I'd literally just lured up the fishing rod that day, it was a brand new hook. So she's like, you're actually really lucky it's a brand new hook. Because, the rust could have caused all sorts. She'd have to have a tetanus shot and, infections would have been high. So
could have been far worse. Wasn't.
So that was stressful.
Yeah, super stressful, but Milo is okay and she's back to a happy
Never
set.
cried so much in my life, honestly. And Milo being Milo, the lady gave her the injection to knock her out to do the x-rays and then obviously found it was in her throat. She goes, do you want to sit with the dog? And I was like, yeah, I'll sit with her. And she goes, all right, what we're going to do is we're going to give her this injection and she's just going to sort of lay down, go to sleep, and we'll come in and we'll do the x-rays. Yeah. Milo being Milo was just like... Bang, head hits the floor, and then I started crying. The vet came in. She was like, oh, my God, are you okay? And I was like, she's concussed. I think I've concussed her. She was just there 1 minute and then just gone.
God. So, it was super rough, but thankfully, Milo was okay.
She's fine. Bank account, not so much.
Bank account, not so much, but it doesn't matter. We would have done what we needed to do for our
we would have
spent
the $6,000 if we had to.
Absolutely. So, we were already making plans for how we were going to pay for it, but we would have done it. Would have been figured out somehow. Everyone loves their little fluffy things, their pets, as they call them, but we don't call it our pet. She's our daughter, so you do what you got to do for them. And yeah, thankfully she is okay. I've had COVID
Yep.
in the last week. That's been not fun. I've had COVID before. I had it when it was first a thing, but I don't really have any symptoms at all. I had a little bit of breathing trouble at night time. That's about it. I felt a little bit, yep, uh, a little hot, flushy. Not the word I'm looking for, but feverish.
We thought it was more of a head cold last time.
Yeah,
we
wasn't
sort of
much
said,
at all.
It wasn't too bad.
No, it wasn't much at all. So this time when I got it hard. The first 24 hours was was horrendous. Like my entire left side of my face was so painful. I thought I was going to go to the hospital to just get something to help that. Thankfully, Em went and got me some pseudoephedrine tablets, and that helped me quite a lot. By the next day, my pain in my face was pretty much gone, which was great because it was really bad. And then from there, I was just worn out, knackered, tired, couldn't get out of bed, and a little bit feverish, but it wasn't too bad. Still think the flu is much worse, and it tends to go a lot longer, and you just feel god awful. But this just wore me down quite a lot, and still recovering. I'm still just really tired. Like I went back to work yesterday, and thankfully I had conference calls most of the day because even after that I was absolutely exhausted. I couldn't wait to go home and go to bed. So yeah, COVID, not fun. But it just goes to show you it's still out there. Everyone thinks it's gone, and you can just move on. And it's not that bad, really. It's just a bad cold, but it doesn't last that long. So
it was just poor timing for it as well. Like obviously we were having Dave, which was going to come over, and
yeah. So we were going to have 2 episodes recorded last week, which I did mention. I apologize it didn't happen because we were going to have Dave Causey, shout out Dave, who was coming into the cave and was going to do a live show, well, not a live show, but recording in studio. We're going to have a chat to him before he went to the AFLW women's game. Seriously, one of the most loyal fans you could find for your football club, not just the men's, because that man went everywhere, and he does. He goes to every away game, every home game, doesn't matter. He also goes to the women's games as well. So he flew all the way over here to go to the Melbourne West Coast game, and was coming here, but unfortunately got sick that morning, so he couldn't come, which we had all the barbecue ready, the sausages and the meat and everything was all sorted, and it was going to be a great little barbie, and we're going to do a great episode. It was going to be great fun, but it didn't happen, unfortunately. But I'm mostly recovered now, just a little bit tired, but not too bad. We've also got a shop that we now have, the Player Issue Podcast shop. You are? You okay?
What? Never mind.
You look lost.
No, I was. Never mind. It's fine.
Uh-oh. I've forgotten something here, have I? Yep, I have, apparently. What have I forgotten? What?
I won't tell you.
Okay.
It's just the most awful thing you probably could forget.
Uh-oh. Well, I mean, I mentioned the fact you had your birthday, so I mean, that could be worse. I mean, calm down. I know what you're getting at. I'm there now. Also, I just happened to get sick at the wrong time because not only was Dave coming around, but it was also our wedding anniversary, a second wedding anniversary on Sunday as well. So Em had a booking for us to go to Naked Apple Cider House, which is where we actually got married 2 years ago. We're going to go there for the first time since our wedding, to have dinner.
Since our marriage.
Well,
a marriage to each other.
It's true. Since our wedding, first time we were going to go there and have dinner. It would have been great, but unfortunately, I just couldn't do it. I tried, but I'm glad you cancelled it because there's no way I would have been any fun. Also, I had COVID, so I shouldn't go out there.
No, you probably shouldn't have gone out
sick
anyway.
either. So thankfully, we didn't get anyone else sick. You didn't get sick from it, which is good. I'm actually surprised you didn't.
So made you isolate.
Yeah. So the first night I didn't go back to bed. I laid on the couch. I slept on the couch. The next morning, Em wakes me up and says, "Go to bed." I left the COVID test on the counter, so you knew I had COVID. So she told me to go to bed. I wasn't going to argue because I was feeling like shit. So that was it. That was my home for the next 3 or 4 days. I wasn't allowed to come out. Wasn't allowed anywhere near. If I was starting to go near, it's 1.5, get back.
I disinfected everything.
Everything I touched, I walk out into the kitchen, I just grab a drink, And then I hear, shh, shh. I'm like, what was that? Oh, I'm just spraying the handle.
Disinfectant. And would you stop touching things?
I'm like, how am I supposed to open anything to get anything? You're not just starved.
So I just remember, like, after the 4th day or whatever it was, you felt better and you opened the door a bit, like, this far, and you're like, can I come out now?
Yeah. Like, can I please come out now? No. Get back in there.
It's like a prison in here. I want to come out.
It wasn't fun. I didn't enjoy it at all. I actually thought I'd enjoy having COVID and being isolated, but no, it wasn't great.
Imagine doing that when it first came out and you had to isolate 14 days.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have been able to do it in the room. And I think I said back then, there's no way I'd be able to do it in that room. I would have been all right if it was just isolating in here, I reckon, for 14 days. Maybe not 14, but those 4 days would have been all right. But, I mean, I didn't feel great, so it would have been great in here for 4 days either. There's not a lot in here.
No.
It's big enough space. But speaking of big enough space, we have something, that is watching us today, and will probably be watching us in future too. Look up there, Em. We have a camera who is watching over us. Say hello. Wave to the camera. That's going to give you guys a little bit of a backstage or behind the scenes view. We might move it for different episodes or whatever, but you'll just see it every now and then. We'll give you a little bit of a different view into the cave, and you'll see what's going on. You can see the screens that we've got in front of us, which you've never seen before.
Better make sure I'm wearing pants then.
It's just actually funny because all the time she isn't.
No, I am today.
We'll also mention the shop that we have. So we have a little shop going on, the Player Issue Podcast shop on Square. We'll put up the address as well. You've seen the picture of it with the address up in the window, in the address bar as well. So you can join us over there and you can buy some great jumpers, or you can buy yourself a hat or a shirt. They're still there. We haven't sold any.
No.
I've stopped talking about it.
Stop talking about it now.
Sold none of them.
Just give up.
But if you do want a hat or a shirt, get up over there and buy one. But yeah, check out the shop. It's got a lot of great player issue stuff on there, not just AFL, but other sports and stuff as well. So, and before we go into the episode, which we've already been going for a while now, got a joke because, I decided.
Is it one that I've heard before?
No.
Okay.
I literally just looked it up.
Okay.
I just decided we'll do a joke before we start every show.
Okay.
I'm trying to keep it footy because, mostly footy podcast here. All right, Em. How do we know that the toothbrush was invented by a Collingwood supporter? Not sure? Well, if it had been anyone else who invented it, it would have been called a teeth brush. I like that one. Now, I can give Collingwood supporters a little bit of shit because they've just won the premiership, so you can get over it for a few minutes. And we also got a Collingwood jumper sitting right there next to him. Congratulations to Collingwood for winning the 2023 premiership. That is a 2021 Chris Mayne away, I believe. Can't remember. But yeah, how'd you like that one, Em? Not bad?
It's so awful because they always pick on Collingwood supporters, but no joke. It was a guy I used to work with at Macca's, and he was like, all his front teeth were missing and tattoos, and I was just like, you don't help yourself. You don't help yourself.
No, not at all. We've also got a few other things in the room. Speaking of Collingwood, unfortunately, our little mate, Lachie Schultz, that right there, was Lachie Schultz 2022 away jumper that he wore against Geelong and I think GWS. He actually gave that to me. So he came in to my workplace after he bought something. I gave him a discount and he handed me that and said, "Thank you very much for all you do," and signed it for me on the night. That was a year ago. And then this year comes in a week before he goes on holiday, all excited, buying some stuff for his trip, some airfly adapters, and bought Matty Tabernar with him. He bought a drone and everything was hunky-dory. A week later, he's dropping that he wants a trade. Absolute devastation. There are times of the year where you lose players or whatever, and you just move on. It is what it is. It's it's a business almost. But this is one of the ones that actually hurt because we've become mates, I guess, with Lachie over the last 12 months. Become quite close, and he's come into the cave. As a matter of fact, where M's sitting is pretty much where he stood for a photo. And of course, we've got some of his jumpers, and he's got us into the locker room after games, and been able to sing the song with him, and had a great time. And then he's off to Collingwood. So devastating news that was. Also, Joel Hamling left as well, but Joel wasn't getting, unfortunately, enough game time, which is fair enough. So he's off to Sydney to spend the rest of his career over there, which is great and awesome for him. Hopefully we can still get him on the show remotely, probably, but he's still a very good man. We'll greatly miss him, as well as we'll greatly miss Lachie as well. But we do wish nothing but the best. Do wish nothing but the best for
The best. Oh, God, you're off again.
It's nothing but the best for Lachie Schultz and Joel and anybody else who's left. Liam Henry as well took off. But
that's unfortunate.
Anyway, also behind M's head, we got the 2012 Perth Glory Shane Smeltz match worn shirt. To say grand final? Well, it's a 2012 grand final Shane Smeltz match worn shirt. Still got the blood from that game all over the sleeve. It's hard to see in the picture, but yeah, he bled all over that. If you watch the 2012 grand final, you can see he broke his nose and blood everywhere, which was pretty tremendous, actually. I actually bought that off Gareth Naven, who was an Gareth Naven? Oh, I don't know if that's right. I think it is. It's an ex-Glory goalkeeper. I actually don't think Gareth Naven is a goalkeeper, so I stuck that up. But his ex-Glory goalkeeper actually bought that off and went and grabbed it off him, so that was really cool. And right next to him as well is the very long Courtney Lee Dallas Mavericks jersey from 2017-2018. Super cool, and you can just see how damn big that is. I think Courtney Lee is a point guard or a shooting guard. That is massive.
Probably like down to my ankles.
It's super long. So there you go. That's what we've got in the cave today. I actually forget to say what we've actually got in here all the time. So you know what we got in here. There you go. That's now good for you to know. All right. What is coming up in the show today? We've already done 20 odd minutes. So what's coming up in the show?
That's just with life.
We're going to cover the bit of feedback that we got. We're going to we do have a Mundy frame it's behind the Lachie, but you've seen the show before. The Mundy frame that we were given as a gift by Z Entertainment. We have a competition entry. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We also will do a little bit of grand final talk, including the jumpers that sold at the grand final. We'll talk scammers.
Jeez.
Your favorite
I think I'm
subject.
prepared for that.
We have 3 today as well.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And some pretty high profile ones as well, which is not good.
Woosa.
We will have mail day, of course. We're going to have a interesting mail day today because there is a couple.
We're going to have to just pump through them.
We'll pump through them for sure. Then we'll talk about something that I've been asked a lot about in the last couple of weeks. And as a matter of fact, today as well, I've had probably 4 messages asking me when this particular thing is. We will announce exclusively announce, thank you very much, the Fremantle Dockers locker room sale. The date and time of the sale.
As soon as you announce it, that's it. You're just going to be like,
anyone's watched the episode from last year's one, you'll know exactly what I was talking about.
Aaron's just going to be like, stress, vomit, stress, money.
Oh, yeah. I do feel ill. It's anxiety-riddled.
I wonder why. 2 words, Fremantle sale.
You're not wrong. So we will exclusively announce, shout out to Scoops, you douche, Fremantle Dockers locker room sale coming up later on, so don't forget to tune in for that. We'll also cover some stuff that we've seen on social media, we'll talk about the recent auctions ending.
Oh, fucking strap yourself in, people, because you need me here for fucking 3 hours.
It's actually not too bad. We've had a lot of them recently, but this isn't too bad today. And there's a few currently on as well.
I do have work tomorrow.
I don't. I'm off.
That's nice.
We'll do a little bit of COA talk.
Oh, geez.
Very short. Viewer questions, what's in the cave, and we'll close the show. So that is the agenda today. It's not too terrible. Being that it's been 4 or 5 weeks, it could go for a hell of a lot longer. So it ain't too bad, I think. Before we jump into the first segment, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment down below. I want to shout out to 84. I don't know who 84 is, but shout out to 84 subscribing to the show. If you subscribe to the show, we'll shout you out for doing so here on the episode next week.
If you're already subscribed, too bad.
Sorry, all you 107 or so plus subscribers, apologies. We're not going to go through you individually and count you out, but if you do subscribe to the show, we'll call you out in the next one. Thank you for subscribing to the show. 84. Interesting name. Feedback is the first thing we're going to talk about today.
Right.
Huh?
Right.
Right.
Let's get into it.
Do you have any feedback from the last episode? I don't even remember the show, to be perfectly honest.
I don't remember the show at all, to be honest. I haven't actually looked.
No, fair enough. All right, well, I've got a few. Fresh on YouTube, and if you don't remember who Fresh is...
Oh, sorry. Didn't actually cough for any reason. Got a tickle in my throat. Hay fever's kicking my ass.
Fresh is Matt Harvey.
Matt Harvey.
He says, Retro Dogs looks awesome. So it's been that long. The Buku Kamis Retro Diamond Dog was one of the male days. It does indeed look absolutely awesome. He also says, I've bought 5 jumpers from official memorabilia in the last 12 weeks. Mixed experience. Bully bid concept, I don't mind, which in my opinion allows somebody to drop a big final bid up front to persuade others to back off, but the word bully is silly. Maybe power bid instead. Yeah, don't disagree. I mean, we've already talked about bully bid and how we don't like it, but it's still
power bid or like top bid or something like that. Like yeah,
anything really. Like I actually like power bid. That's pretty good.
Advanced bid.
Yeah. I don't usually. It's not. I mean, everybody has a different tactic, I suppose, when going into auctions. And the only time I've really ever bid my maximum straight away, because I normally don't bid at all until the last day or even the last hour or so. I usually just leave it and see how it goes. The only time I've ever just gone, all right, I'm just going to bid my maximum bid and just see how it goes, was the David Mundy 300th game jumper. I put $1,500 and I just said, all right, if someone outbids me, then good on them, they deserve it. Well, I think it actually worked in my favor at that moment because it kept going up and up and up and up and up till it hit 1,500 and stopped.
They just gave up.
For 6 days, it didn't move. And so, but still on the last day, I was thinking, all right, someone's going to outbid me. But because obviously people have been trying to bid and they just kept getting outbid immediately, they probably thought that I was going to keep bidding and they were just no chance. So they just stopped and that was it. No one else bid. Nobody else bid. So it worked for me. So the bully bid, I don't like it, but the power bid, we're going to call it from now on. Thanks, Matt. The power bid is not bad in certain moments. I think they've actually moved it again. I think I've told you this last time where they went to an auction and the power, or the, I'm going to say I call it power bid and the proxy bid, they'd actually switched places.
Yeah.
So they've done it again. They've put it back the way it was like the very first time it ever happened. So we'll have it in. It'll be interesting to see if that keeps flip-flopping. If it does, and that's clearly a tactic from OM, and it's not great. But it may not be. It could have just been a mistake. We'll see what happens. But it has flipped back to the way it was originally. Parker399 on YouTube. Not sure who Parker is, but thanks for your first ever comment. Appreciate it. Talking about official memorabilia. There's a lot of official memorabilia on this show. I purchased Jake Kolajasny's. Oh, I should have shown you this and see if you could actually say his name. Jake Kolajasny's home Indigenous jumper off OM, I assume. And I received the tracking number, but it was never picked up. Funny you say that. So I called them for them to tell me that they had sold the jumper to the bidder below him. The excuse was I didn't pay it in time, but I paid it within 24 hours of the auction ending. It actually says you have to pay it within 48, so fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
They ended up getting back to me with a full refund and a choice of 1 jumper off a list of 5. So the compensation in their service was very good considering they stuffed up. So Hey, not wrong.
I feel like if you don't pay for something, they should email you and be like, hey, you have X amount of hours left to pay for this. If you do not pay for this, then at least if he saw that email, he might have been like, oh shit, I haven't paid for this yet. But not just be like, you haven't paid for it. Oh, too bad. Next.
Yeah. And I've actually been having these issues myself recently. So, same issue. I actually purchased a couple of jumpers months ago now. Well, one of them is a Jarth. Well, I don't want to say his first name because I actually have no idea how to say his first name. But Hawks player Jarth. I purchased his jumper off OM. And then I had received an email after I emailed them. Sorry, I emailed them saying, where is it? It's been a month. I haven't heard anything. And it said on the listing that jumpers would be going out within 3 weeks or something. I think it was days, it said, but it was well over that anyway. And they emailed back with an invoice saying, here, you need to pay this for that jumper. And I said, no. I sent back the screenshot of it having been paid for the day after. So I said, no, it's already been paid for. So what the hell? But then they messaged me or emailed me back a couple of days later and said, thank you, we'll update it. And we'll let you know what's going on with the jumper.
They'd given it away.
Didn't hear it. No. But I didn't hear anything again for another month, just about. I emailed again, said what's going on. They said that the jumper was getting delivered from the Hawks themselves, not from Official Memorabilia. So I'd have to deal with them. So, all right. It's not really my job to do it, but I went and emailed the Hawks. No response. I emailed again 2 days later, no response. So I emailed Official Memorabilia and said, I'm not getting a response here. Can you guys help me out? 3 days later, no response from either side. I emailed Hawks again, nothing. I emailed Official Memorabilia and just said, this is ridiculous. I bought the jumper off you guys. Why am I having to go through the Hawks to get the jumper that I bought from you?
Should be your job.
This is ridiculous. And can you please get a hold of them and get me the jumper? It's not up to me to be chasing up the jumper that you sold. And then finally enough, next day, without a response, by the way, next day I had a tracking number, and then the following day after that, the jumper arrived. So 2.5 months later, I finally got the jumper, and just terrible.
Back and forward.
Terrible lack of communication, or just passing me off to somebody else. But I'm also in another pickle at the moment, where I've bought one of the North Melbourne Good Friday jumpers, which is that really cool purple diamond thing around that kangaroo.
Big roo head.
Yeah. Which when we first saw it, we were like, oh, I actually love that.
Yeah.
Even though it was weird, it was unique and really cool. So I managed to get one of those because they put up a listing after the season ended with a few more just player issue ones. So I grabbed one of those and I'm stoked. It's cost me $150 something after the shipping and all that. And only a couple of days later, I get a tracking number. So I thought, oh, beauty, this is the quickest it's ever happened with Official Memorabilia.
It's gone.
Well, this is on the 3rd of October.
Okay.
So it's now the 20th of October as we speak. A week later, so normally with these auctions, when they actually send you tracking, you'll get the jumper the next day or the following because it's usually pretty quick. Toll Group is really good. What the TGE they're called now. Team Global Express. So they're actually really, really good. They're pretty fast. Once you get a tracking number, you get it very quickly. But a week later, I haven't got anything yet. So I emailed TGE and said, can you guys follow up this tracking number for me? I haven't received it yet. They emailed me back saying, well, we've looked it up and it hasn't been picked up because the sender has never booked the pickup. I said, okay, fine. So I got to go back to Official Memorabilia. I emailed them back on the 10th and said, can you guys tell me what's going on? Haven't received it. And they say they haven't picked it up yet. I think it was a week later, I get a response saying, sorry, North Melbourne haven't sent us the jumper yet. So we've created the consignment, but we don't have the jumper to send to you. So, but we'll get it to you as quick as we can. It's the 20th, and I'm still waiting. And I've sent them 2 more emails to say, where is it? And I get a response from one of them saying, we are in conversation with the Hawthorn Hawks Football Club right now, and we'll have a response for you soon. And I just said to them, I've already got that jumper. I am asking you about the North Melbourne jumper that I have an issue with now.
Pulling fucking teeth, honestly.
So my communication and just my experience with OM is just not great. And as much as
They're all over the place.
they're all over the place, absolutely. Because then you have great experiences like Parker 399, who's had a shit experience because they've sold the jumper on him, even though he's paid for it within the 48 hours that they've said you have to pay for it. I actually also won one of the Brisbane Lions Clash jumpers a couple weekends ago. It's sold on the weekend, so can't remember exactly what day it was, but I won it on the weekend. The car that I use is a car that I actually have to put money in before money comes out. So they do an automatic debit. Money wasn't in that card, so I didn't even think about it. Didn't look at the emails. But then I went back to work and I got an email as I'm walking into work. You haven't paid for your jumper. Your item's been cancelled. So they didn't give me much chance. Normally they have sent me emails saying, "Oh, you have to pay for the jumper, else we'll cancel it." They didn't do that. They just sent me an email. It's been cancelled. Sorry, it's been already offered to the underbidder, so you lose. Basically,
fuck you.
All right, well, so I lost out on that, but it's a bit disappointing. Yes, they do have a policy of 48 hours, so like I'm not going to complain that they didn't give me a chance because it is their policy. That's fine. I missed out on that jumper, but you would think that they would send an email saying, "Hey, you haven't paid for it yet, just in case you've forgotten. Can you sort it out?" And
I feel like if they're saying you got 48 hours and at the 24-hour mark, they should send you an email and be like, "Hey, you have 24 hours to pay for this item or it will be removed. It will be moved to the next person."
Yeah, so I did receive an email straight away. Like as soon as the auction ends, obviously it says just try to automatically take it out. I got an automated email that says money didn't come out and sorted out within 48 hours. But I just forgot about it. Like I said, it was a weekend and can't remember, I think it was your birthday weekend actually. So I didn't think about the jumper again. I thought I'll sort it out later. But then within 48 hours, I forgot about it and immediately email, you're cancelled. Sorry, you missed out. Like I said, whatever. It is their policy, but a little bit more notice or whatever would have been great. Luckily, it wasn't a jumper I'm that fussed about. It literally come down to the very last jumper that's sold before I actually got one or won one. So it wasn't anybody special. So I'm really not that fussed about losing it. But yeah, I mean, I bought a lot of jumpers off there as well. Even though I'm not stoked about them doing it, I have bought a lot of stuff and supported them doing this.
They should almost create like a profile for people. Like obviously you get a profile, but like a record almost, and be like, "Oh, well, he's bought X amount. He's bought 50 jumpers and never missed a payment. Okay, we'll send him an email. Hey, Aaron, as a loyal customer, just want to check you still want this jumper, yes or no?" And you could say yes or no. But if you've like not paid for jumpers and they just don't give you a second chance, I could understand that. Like it almost should be like a
I mean, there are people that no doubt have won jumpers and have never paid for any,
they just,
and that's fair enough. Don't give them another chance because they don't deserve it. But then some of them, they might slip their mind, but they're still more keen on it, like myself.
Yeah.
Like I said, bought many jumpers from them, and I'd be keen to. I would have given them the money, but now they've gone and offered someone else for less money. So really, they're the ones losing out. But that is their policy. It is what it is. But I just wish there was a better direct communication between the buyer and somebody at Official Memorabilia, because I keep getting other people or different people responding to the emails who clearly aren't reading the previous emails, because I'm getting a response about a Hawthorn jumper that I've well and surely already received, and I'm not talking about that jumper anymore. But that's the conversation they remember. But whatever. It's just really, really frustrating to go through this, and there are other people who are going through similar issues, multiple issues. Just sort it out, get it right, or the AFL needs to step in and take control and take it more seriously, because it's getting to the point where it's becoming
a lot
bit
of money.
joke, and the memorabilia side of things is a huge deal now. It is a lot of money, like you say. People are spending big dollars, as we'll see a bit later on. It's just frustrating to have issues like this. But anyway, moving on. We've talked enough about official memorabilia. I should have said that. Very next feedback. Daniel PP9IY on YouTube says, called official memorabilia regarding the Freo Retro auction. They told me that they were posted. I'd never received an email with tracking. Next day while I was at work, it got delivered with zero notification. It's sitting outside until I got home to collect it. Very disappointing. Communication to buyers needs to be a lot better in future, in my opinion.
Probably with a lovely little sticker on it too, being like, "This is what you purchased." So the criminals are just like, "Ooh."
Yeah. I I've got a few of those.
Dumb.
Literally
If
says,
official memorabilia listen to this, stop fucking putting on it what it is. Like, it's dumb.
I don't understand why they do that.
You're literally advertising to criminals what is in there. I mean, the criminal's going to pinch it anyway, but, like, it's dumb. You don't need that sticker on there.
It's like it's on that sticker, straight up says what this jumper is.
Yeah.
But then it's also on the label that also says what it is.
Yeah.
Like, just stop it.
Yeah, there's a sticker about X, well, that long and that, and it's like, you've got a thing of it, and it will say like Luke Jackson match worn Indigenous something jump match worn Guernsey or whatever, and it's just like don't do it.
Yeah, so this is what Em's talking about. So this is on the bag that they're sending out now as well.
Yeah, so there you go. So it's like AFL 2000 special event Guernsey, and then the player.
Yeah, and then also on the label, which where are we? So on the label here as well, just underneath the 6112, it tells
Adelaide
you
special events. Yeah,
what it is. So it tells you on the label, it tells you on the sticker, on the bag.
I don't understand even like that. I mean, that's just creating more work for you guys. Like, don't put it on there. You don't need it. It's bad.
Yeah.
It's
also really, really bad when people are spending a lot of money to just leave it at the door.
I also I mean, not that I'm saying that people are like this and the people that post, they're like the postal companies and that are like this, but you never know who's working for those companies. Like, imagine if, say, I, a dodgy bugger, worked for Ozpost and these are going through and I'm just like, oh, I know what that is. That could just disappear. It's telling you what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like that idea.
It's a bit silly.
Idea.
It's not necessary.
Drop the stickers and make sure they're signed for. They need to be signed for. Like, I hate coming home and have a card that says you need to go pick it up, but I'd rather it need to go pick it up than it just be gone forever.
I would much rather that than you've just lost $1,000-something odd dollars.
Yeah.
Too bad, so sad.
Yeah. I also have a parcel locker, but I can't send it to the parcel locker because I use TGE, who can't send it there. So that's fair enough.
Yeah.
But you need options. So put options on the way to pay for it.
When I buy my spray tanning solution, because that's not cheap either. It says when you're paying for it, do you give this permission to be left out the front? And you tick yes or no. And if you tick yes, it says, where do you want us to leave this? And so I'll put, I've put once, place in the meter box. And I've come home and, the guy's place it in our meter box. But I always tick no.
Yeah. So also on that postage thing, it's $29 no matter what.
This episode's been going for 46 minutes and we haven't even got past feedback.
It hasn't been going for 46 minutes. We were talking shit for a fair while before we started, so calm down. It has been going for a little while though. $29 no matter what you do, right? So this isn't the big boxes. Like, you can get a box from Official Memorabilia. This one's actually from Hawthorn, but it is a box.
So $29 shipping.
$29 for that to be shipped to our door. Also, you can get this.
$29 shipping.
Which is what they call a pillow. It's literally just a satchel.
Piece of shit, yeah.
It's nothing. It's just cardboard.
It's firelighters.
$29. Or you can get in a bag. Just a bag. Simple bag. $29. $29 for shipping in a big box or in a little plastic bag.
Or in a cardboard.
Which costs you like $10.
Little box. Plastic bag.
$29. This is ridiculous.
It's daylight robbery.
It is daylight robbery. Do not do this. Not do this.
Why?
Why you do this?
Do not do this to me.
I don't like this. So I do not like this.
What is happening? Why are you Indian?
I do not like this. So stop this. Put options. You can have it in a box. It's going to cost you $29 to have it delivered. Oh, look at that. Or put it in a pillow. It's going to cost you $15 of delivery. Okay, I don't want that. It's a stupid pillow. Or put it in a satchel. It's going to cost you $10. I know which option I'm picking. Not the $29 goddamn box, which I don't have room for anymore. Because there's 5 of the freaking things over there just sitting there doing nothing. I don't like them. Get rid of them.
Don't want them.
Don't want them. Enough is enough. And the pillows are worse. Bollocks. I don't want a friggin' pillow. What am I going to do with it? I can't sleep on it. It's not a real pillow. What is wrong with you?
This is an Aaron's rage. This is an Aaron's rage.
It's an Aaron's rage. I don't like it.
It's not even just the whole rage. It's the eye contact you're giving me right now. And your eyes are huge.
Why can't you change it?
Change the pillows.
The pillows are the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
Dumb.
It's okay. It's fine. I just don't want to pay $29 for it. It's ridiculous.
It's daylight
paid
robbery.
$29 to be shipped.
For all three of those things.
Yeah. All cost the same, but they ain't the same. Nope. Do you know what? Also,
God,
is not
he's
the
off
same.
again. Aaron's rage.
I'm not paying $1,000 for a special jumper and then paying $200 for a Billy Dowling Adelaide Crozier, but they are not the same. I don't pay for the same for them because one is not like the other. One is much better than the other. Therefore, I expect to pay a lot more. I would expect to pay more for a box than I do for a freaking pillow. I don't want to pay for a pillow the same I'm paying for a box. It's bullshit. Enough with the fucking boxes. Please. And no pillows. Just put them in a satchel and send them to us and get them to sign for us. Thank you very much. Are you okay?
I'm scared.
Oh, I think we were talking about the Mundy frame competition.
Were we?
I don't know. We were
on feedback.
We were on feedback. Well, okay.
Is that it?
I haven't decided, as a matter of fact.
Don't worry about it.
No, look. Okay, we're going to discuss this feedback because it is what it is. And it's feedback. So we ask for feedback, we get feedback.
Don't worry about it.
We're going to talk about this very quickly. We're not going to show the person's name because it doesn't need to be shown. What we're looking at right now, you're not looking at because I'm going to edit it later.
Oh.
However, we did get some feedback on the YouTube channel. It got pulled down pretty quickly, so I assume the person thought better of it and deleted it. So we'll read it out. We'll give it its airtime because it's feedback. Okay, this person says, why do we keep insisting on having your wife on the show? I find she really doesn't bring much knowledge-wise of footy or collecting. As for no one commenting on her crying, she either a very good actor, you're also a great speller by the way, either a very good actor or have some other issues going on and use that to cry and get attention. Not trying to be mean or hateful, but she gets a bit boring after a while. Wow, that is feedback. Is it valid? That's not for us to decide, I guess. But I suppose we'll discuss it. Em doesn't need to discuss it. She doesn't need to mention it. It doesn't need to be spoken of as far as I'm concerned for her. Okay, why is she on the show? One, if it was just me on this show, you would not watch it. No one would watch it because I am incredibly boring. Em is what I would call the comic relief, someone for me to bounce off, and also she's my wife, so I quite enjoy spending the time with her and being in the same hobby as me. It's great. Now, as far as her not knowing much, she's not expected to know a lot. She's not like me. She doesn't sit there reading up jerseys, jumpers, going on Facebook. God damn, could you imagine if you did that? Me and you would never talk to each other. Not once. So I'm glad you don't do that. However, she does have a pretty good knowledge of stuff about jumpers. Much better than a lot of people. I get children, I get grown adults constantly messaging me, asking me questions about jumpers that I guarantee she can answer for me instead of me doing it all the time. So she has a good enough knowledge to be on this show talking about football jumpers. She's not going to know everything, and that's quite all right because she is here to just make me look better, to be perfectly honest, and she does. She looks great sitting over there, and she has great presence as far as I'm concerned. And as far as not being hateful or mean, I think that comment is probably the dumbest shit I've ever read because what do you reckon that's going to do to somebody's confidence? You twat. As far as I'm concerned, I don't care if you don't like my comments because we don't think that you should be watching this show if that's the way you feel. Because guess what? Em's not going anywhere. So if you do not want to watch the show because M's going to be on it in the future, goodbye. And we will not miss you. Those who do enjoy M's presence on the show, you must do because you do watch the show. We have enough people to watch it for us to continue doing it. Thank you for those who do. And we appreciate your feedback, but we don't appreciate yours. You can piss off. Don't watch the show. I really don't care. Yeah. Anyway, that's all I've got to say about that. Also, M's crying in that episode. I was crying as well. I was a little baby too. So, do we have issues? Shit, yeah, we do. Everyone's got issues. We have every right to cry if we find something sad. That was probably the biggest joke I actually read in that feedback. I have no issues with people giving feedback, but that's not feedback. That's just hateful comments, and there's no room for that here or anywhere. So I wasn't going to share. Wasn't sure if I was going to share that or not because it doesn't deserve it. But if you want to give us your feedback and you want to waste your time by saying hurtful and hateful things, then we'll address it. But I'd rather you just don't watch the show. Simple. Goodbye. Okay, we'll move on now, shall we, Em? Okay, we'll move on to the Mundy frame competition entry. We have got one through. Are you right?
I just remembered it.
We've got one through. So what we were doing, I don't know if you guys remember, but we did get this frame, the Mundy frame from Z Entertainment. We were give it away as a not a gift, but as a competition prize.
Yeah, like a giveaway. Yeah.
As a giveaway. So Em decided that we want you guys to put in your entries as your best impersonation of the show, what's your favourite moment, or anything at all that you want to do a short video for. Send it through. We'll put it on the show and we'll decide who wins the frame. So we have an entry today from Blake Cook and his kids. So, Em, let's check out the entry, shall we? This is entry number 1. So this is the sort of thing we're looking for.
Welcome back to the Player Issue Podcast.
What is in the cave today?
Number 2.
Number 2, Oscar.
Who we got there today?
We've got number 2, Rory Atkins, Suns jumper. What's it?
Love that. So Shelby and Oscar, thank you so much for your impersonation of What's in the Cave. I thought it was great. We also got about 8 more of those videos through.
That was the best one.
That was the best one. It was actually the last one. So they nailed it in the end. It was actually fantastic because after every single one they sent through, let's do it again. And another one. So it's hilarious. Thank you to Blake for sending that through. Shelby and Oscar, you guys are legends. If anyone else wants to send through some entries, that'd be great. Or we just want to put them up and enjoy you guys just being on our show. It'd be great. And show that you actually watch it and care. I know we got plenty of viewers, but we want to hear from you every now and then as well. So that's our first entry into the show. What do you reckon, Em? How good was that?
It's funny. I like the little spinny thing. It was supposed to be like the wheel.
The wheel was great. It's in the cave.
Welcome to the Player Issue Podcast.
Every single time we sent one through, it was the same thing. Zooming in.
How many times were I walking around the house being like, welcome back to the Player Issue Podcast? Karen's like, shut up.
All night she was saying that. So clearly it meant something. Very good, very good. Well done. All right, grand final talk. We'll talk about it briefly. Em, did you actually watch any of the grand final this year?
Yeah. I think was I working? Yeah, I was working. I had clients come to me though, so I had it on in the house, yeah. I was watching it, yeah.
I was also working, so...
and then I came and saw you at work.
Did you? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was also working, so I unfortunately didn't watch a lot of the game. I was busy. It's actually a super busy day at work, which pissed me off because...
It was all the foreigners that don't watch the grand final.
Well, that's exactly what happened. It was quite weird, actually, because Saturdays are always busy. We're always doing about 100 grand a day on a Saturday. But being grand final, I thought it'd be very quiet, and we wouldn't get anyone in, and it would be an opportunity to watch the game while being on the floor and still doing my job. However, the people who weren't interested in the grand final, who probably normally wouldn't come into the store, they all came in. And as Em mentioned, they were majority, 95% foreigners. not Australian. So it was a very weird and interesting vibe. Very good people. Don't get me wrong. There was no angry people at all that day. Everyone was having a good time, even though there was still quite a few coming over to watch the grand final. That was actually quite fun. A lot of Asian people and Indian people were standing there watching the game. So that was actually a really cool vibe to see that multiple cultures were coming in and actually watching the game on the 85-inch TVs. Didn't see a huge amount of it, like I said, because I was busy, but I did see some moments which were pretty cool. Bobby Hill, every time I looked, he was kicking a goal. So clearly he deserved that Norm Smith medal. I haven't actually watched the game back yet. I will at some point. But of course, with the grand final comes the grand final auctions. So, Em, we will show what went for what.
God, I'm scared. It's going to be bad, isn't it?
Well, yeah, all right. So we've got 3 Collingwood jumpers here. The first one is the cheapest. So this is the cheapest jumper that sold at the auction for Collingwood.
Mm-hmm.
It was Harvey Harrison's grand final sign jumper. The weird thing about these was they actually were advertised as, I can't remember exactly, but I think it said they'll be the first half jumpers only, because then the second half they're going to keep them. So it's
they
good they
swap
said
jumpers over.
Yeah, so the first half they swap them over. Second half, the players will be keeping those because they'll keep wearing them, as they always do, wear it for a few days afterwards. So they'll be getting the first half jumpers. So if the player was a sub and they only come on in the second half, then you'd be getting the player issue, not the grand final match worn. So yeah, a bit weird, but it was good that they told everyone what they were going to get. So that was great of them. And then this one is the cheapest, $2,675 for
I feel like that's not too bad for a grand final jumper.
for a winning grand final. Not too bad at all. But then there's another scale, Em. This is the Norm Smith medalist, Bobby Hill.
Jesus.
Bobby Norm Hill, Collingwood. I actually really like that. Bobby Norm Hill, they call him. His match-worn grand final jumper went for $12,525.
There's got to be a company that's bought that.
Don't know. Probably not. I don't know. I don't think so. 12 grand is a lot of money,
So much money.
but I reckon Dave Causey spent about that on his.
Well, true. Yeah.
Jared Rivers. Jared Rivers? No. Can't remember his name. Anyway.
Fill him in, Dave.
12.5 grand. So obviously there's 10% or 11% buyer's fee as well on top of that. And here we go, Em. I don't know if you know this or not, but this is the highest seller. Who do you reckon was the number one seller?
Did they sell all of the players?
All of them.
I'm either guessing. Well, I'd say the Dacos brothers, but I feel like it's just going to completely and be someone completely different.
No.
What's that guy with the bloody mustache?
Mustache?
Yeah, he plays for Collingwood.
Oh, that's helpful.
He's got a bald head. I don't know his name.
Oh, yeah. Ole Markov.
Either him or something like Mason Cox or something.
No. So you're right. It was Nick Dacos.
It's going to be one of the Dacos brothers, doesn't
Nick
it?
Dacos. Yeah. And as it should be, because the man is a gun. He's going to win.
I thought you were just going to be like, it should have been, but it wasn't.
The man is an absolute gun. He's going to win multiple Brownlows. His first ever grand final and a win.
Okay.
So you would expect him to be the most. And he was.
Yeah. Someone spend that.
$70,025. Plus buyer's fees and the $29 shipping.
52 bids.
Yeah. Yeah. In the last 14, 15 minutes, it was a 60 grand and it went up another 10. So chances are that is a company and you may never see that jumper again.
That's insane.
Or it's going to end up in somebody's hands. They're going to cut it in little pieces.
I was just about to say someone's going to cut that up, aren't they?
I hope not.
No.
I don't think it will. I hope not. But no, I don't know.
I hope not, but
Yeah.
that's insane.
It is insane, but it's well worth it. Nick Dacos is a gun.
Yeah.
I mean, when I say well worth it, what is worth it? How do you know what's worth it when you're spending $70,000?
I thought you were going to say, who do you think it would be? And obviously it was going to be the Dacos, one of the Dacos boys, but then I thought you were going to be like, it should have been, but it wasn't. That's why I was guessing someone else, yeah.
It wasn't close. I think the next one down was about 30 grand, which is still a lot, but $70,000 plus buyer's fees. So, looking at 77 grand, insane amount of money. But someone's obviously super happy because they won an amazing
Good on 'em.
jumper. Then, of course, there was the Brisbane Lions jumpers did
Mhm.
also get auctioned as well. So we'll look at the least expensive Brisbane Lions one, but there is a catch to that as well. Darcy Fort was an emergency, so he didn't actually play.
Okay.
Darcy Fort went for 725. So this is an unworn jumper. He wouldn't have worn it before the game, anything. I'm pretty certain he wouldn't have even
Suppose someone
worn it up.
just wanted it because it's cool.
Yep, 725. I mean, yeah, it's got a grand final logo
Mm.
on it. It's still cool. 725 is a lot more than it used to be, but still not cheap. And then we've got the cheapest grand final jumper that sold. That was worn.
Mhm.
Jared Lyons at 1,025 plus your fee. And then the most expensive Brisbane one
It'd
that
have to be
sold
Lachie Neal.
was, of course, Lachie Neal at $15,075.
He's also a Brownlow medalist.
Also a Brownlow medalist, but $15,000 for a losing grand final jumper. I don't know if that's the most ever, but it's got to be up there.
That's a lot.
I'd imagine it would be definitely up there. So that's the grand final. What we saw at the grand final. We also saw the Marmalade boys finally get their chance to do the longest kick. They got in. So did you see they were doing the campaign to get themselves on the show, get themselves in the kick?
No.
They were sleeping outside. They were camping outside of the Channel 7 studios and had signs and were trying to talk themselves into getting into it. And they did manage to get themselves in. So they campaigned to get themselves in the longest kick, and they both got to have a kick each before the main guys went in. One guy didn't do so well. But Shrey kicked it over 50 metres. So very nice little kick by Shrey. So shout out to the Marmalade boys for, going hard out to get themselves on the show and get themselves in the competition, and they managed to do it. So
I'm sure they don't watch our shit.
I don't know. No idea. If they do, shout out. Say hello. Em, your favourite topic.
Prepared for this.
Scammers. So
I feel like we don't need another rage on here. You just fucking butts people with 2 rages. One of them I didn't expect. I feel like you went harder on the rage about pillows than you did on the harder on the rage about your wife. Fucking pillows and boxes. And then don't insult my wife.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. We got 3 scammers. We'll quickly move through them because one of them has already been seen before. This Samuel Chase guy. The name doesn't look familiar. However, it is familiar because it's trying to sell the same jumpers that he's tried or has scammed previously. This is also name previously known as Alex Kurtz.
Is this the one that the dad works for the...
Yep.
Because it's a Carlton thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So he's putting up more jumpers on a different page under a different name, trying to scam more people. So I think people started to let the admin of these groups know and the listings got pulled down. But he clearly doesn't give a shit because he's still out there scamming people.
It's hard as well because there's no way for really the police to get onto him because he keeps changing his name. So,
I'm sure there's a way. I'm hopeful that he does get done for this bullshit because it's unbelievable that he continues to get away with this sort of shit. And we have the next scammer. Let me just find it. Okay, so Sam Hawkins is another scammer. So this guy's saying he had these jumpers, particular jumpers. These guys negotiated a price for both. He says he got them shipped by some random company. Of course, never told him what the company was, company name, company number, anything. And eventually the guy just stopped commenting or replying, and of course has blocked him and has scammed him out of his money. So Jai is also trying to help other people in not getting scammed. So he went through a whole conversation. They figured out the price. I gave him his bank details, paid for it. This is the issue here, is paying through bank.
Mm.
This has got to be avoided. And I know that it's hard because sometimes people will say, I don't accept payment any other way but bank. But if you've never heard of this
They're
person,
well, he's lucky he's got his money back, or the bank.
I don't know if he has.
Well, I think that's what it said.
Oh,
I think
okay.
it said that they're going to try and hit him with fraudulent
Yeah, that's
stuff
right.
as
He did
well.
say, yeah.
But some banks will try and help you out, but unfortunately some banks will be like, so sorry. It's your own fault.
But most of them won't because you've sent them their
PayPal,
money.
just protect yourself.
Protect yourself at all costs, people. Pay PayPal. So they're going through this whole conversation about, yep, this is, I booked it in.
Career. One of my mates runs a career thing. That should have been a huge red flag.
Yeah. And then he's obviously desperate at this point because he's just saying, just take this jumper. I'll just do it for cheap. I don't care. That's another red flag when someone just says, oh, yeah, I'll just take it for whatever.
Yeah.
Or if you offer something crazy low and he says, yeah, that'll do.
Got any more coin?
Yeah. So he's trying to scam as much money as he can out before he realizes that he's been had. So unfortunately, it was too late. He'd already sent him more money. But unfortunately, luckily for him, he didn't have any more money to give him because he could have spent a lot more with him. So, yeah, not good. And eventually, it just got to the point where he stopped replying. Sam Hawkins, don't know who this person is, never seen him before, probably not his real name, but keep an eye out because this person will scam you. And keep an eye out for these items as well because clearly, if he does have them, he ain't sending them. He probably doesn't have them either. Okay, so the last scammer we'll talk about is a very, very big one. The name might look familiar. As a matter of fact, I really stared at this for a while without actually reading anything. I stared at the name and I was like, what? I know this name. I don't know why. This gentleman played for Carlton and Essendon football clubs for a long time. He was a very well-known football player in the AFL. He's scamming or was scamming people for grand final tickets. And of course, having a name and being an actual ex-football player, he probably could get grand final tickets because he likely gets them for how many games he played in the AFL. But he was scamming people out of grand final tickets, getting them to pay and then not sending them and then blocking them. That is unbelievable that somebody with a name who played in the AFL thinks he can get away with this shit. I have checked in, so this is from the 28th of September. I checked in before we did the show today, and it's still unresolved. So
I wonder if you could take it to like the AFL. I mean, I know they can't do anything, but it also could be like, you need to not give this guy tickets. This is what he's doing with them. And then the AFL should just cut him off and be like, look, no, we're not giving you these tickets if you're going to do that.
I'm sure there are ways that something can be done, and through the AFL, because if this guy is, selling the stuff that he's getting for free off them, but then just scamming people outright for it, that's terrible. So, and it's not the first time we've seen AFL or ex-AFL players scamming people out of money. Now, I just don't understand how they think they get away with it, but clearly, so far, almost a month later, he's gotten away with it so far. But I would imagine it's not going to end that way.
It'll come back to bite him in the ass.
Let's hope so. Really disappointing to see things like that. But that's it, Em. So it wasn't that bad. It wasn't too painful. Scammers. We didn't get too rage today. We've had our rage. I've had my rage. But just be careful. Like Em said, pay PayPal as much as humanly possible.
I know it's annoying, but I mean, it's like you're protected.
Yeah.
Some banks will protect you, but not every bank will.
No.
So
it's very rarely that even I will pay outside of PayPal. I can call people out on this show and I can tell people that if you try and screw me over, then I'm going to talk shit about you on the show. But what's it really that going to do? If they want money out of me,
I'm sure also most of the people that you pay that aren't through PayPal is you've known for a long time.
Well, exactly right. So if I don't trust somebody, I'm not going to do it. Especially if we're talking good dollars. There's no way I'm going to send somebody $500 without
just the cheek of him too, being like, got any more coin? Like, how much fucking more do you want?
Yeah, it was anything he could have got. I guarantee it. He would have gone as heavy.
My mate has a career thingy that should have been a massive red flag. He can't even name it. He doesn't even know what it's called.
All right, Em, off scammers and on to your favourite segment, legitimately this time.
Mail day?
Mail day.
It is indeed
It's been a
mail day.
while, and I'm a bit like croaky in the throat from hay fever, so I can't do my fullest Andy Munro I can't today.
Mail day.
No, God, no. What was that?
It was terrifying mail day. I don't know what that was.
Oh, I don't like that. Edit that out.
We'll not edit. Okay, so it's been 4 weeks, right? So we've got a couple of things.
God,
So
are you going to launch them all at me?
it's funny
Just
you say that.
yeet.
It is funny you say that because just before we started recording the show, Daniel Hill, shout out to Daniel, who's watching because he wants to know the
People are only watching as a sale. That's why we're putting it at the end. Fuck you. You have to watch the whole episode.
he wants to know when the Freo Dockers locker room sale is. But he also said, after we had a bit of discussion about how many jumpers I've had come in the last month, he said, why don't you just pick them all up and throw them at
Yeah,
him?
do it. Go on then.
So here we go.
Hang on, just throw them all at me.
You're not going to know how many we have, but Em's about to find out.
And we'll just throw them at me, and we'll just literally just like ping, 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 and then obviously we'll put them all in. Oh, Jesus, I'm regretting this decision.
All right, here we go. Are you ready for this? It's not going to be a small. It's heavy. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. All right. So I can't even. I think there's like 18 jumpers in there, but I think these are all the ones that we've got since the last recording, and I've got more on the way as well. So, let's just rattle them off as quick as we can. All right. Jumper number 1 is a 2023 Grand Final VFL jumper. Number 57, Nick Williams. Didn't play, so it is an unborn Grand Final jumper, but still very cool. Oh, this is going to hurt me. This one is a 2023 Gold Coast Suns Rise Up jumper. So the cool blue cuffs, and of course the Rise Up on the front. This is a Noah Anderson. Noah Anderson had 37 possessions and got 3 votes this goal. 2 votes maybe this game as well. She put that one down gently, which I'm very happy with. And then just throws it along the ground. All right, next one is the jumper that we were talking about earlier, which is the, I'm going to say Changuk. Changuk? I don't know. Jath. It is very nice, as a matter of fact. Adidas jumper. Jath, who's actually signed it on the front as well, and the back. Number 9. Great number, of course, for the Hawks. Shane Crawford number as well. I also just really rate him as a player. Tremendous player. And that was from 2022, that jumper. This one is a 2023 away. Got the plungy on the front, and it's also super worn on the tag. Number 18, the great red Matthew Rao, or grass eater himself, Matthew Rao.
Or koi fish.
Also known as our koi fish, yes. And then you've got a 2023 Clash, also a Matt Rao. Both of these Matt Raos are definitely match worn. Obviously not advertised as such because they don't advertise them as match worn on the locker room sale. So these ones come from the locker room sale as well, the Gold Coast Suns online locker sale. But they are definitely match worn because quite filthy and very well worn. This one is a 2000 Kingsley Hunter jumper, who used to play for Fremantle as well. Signed on the front and the back. As you can see, those numbers are stitched very, actually quite thin. So quite weird, but
crooked.
Yeah, not great. So I'm glad they went to sublimating jumpers because they're shocking. This is actually a lotto win. That was a lotto win. My third only lotto win in the last 3 years. Then we got a Bob 300, so a Bob Murphy 300th jumper from 2017. This is a Declan Hamilton player issue. Didn't play in the game, but how lovely are these jumpers? I think they're great. Having that collar as well. So pre-retro, they started having these collars on, which of course came with those. I didn't even realize they were in there, but pair of shorts, 1996 Fremantle Dockers Centenary away shorts. Super, super cool. Very, very cool. And yeah, love them. Just unworn. Very, very, very cool. They go with the Craig Callahan jumper that I had.
I'm not going to lie. This is how we're doing the jumpers. I am not doing my usual filming them nicely and slowly showing you. It's going to take me forever. I'm sorry, but this is what you get. You want any more? We'll do it later.
Yeah, well, if you want to see any more up close and personal, let us know. We'll do it for you. All right, this is a beauty. As you can see, the 20-year anniversary logo in the corner there. This is from 2023. They've got the 3 of 3 down the bottom as well because this is the third and final in that series from 2001, 2002, and 2003. Also 2021, 2022, and 2023. This is the final one. Lachie Neale, also signed by Lachie on the back. What a great pickup. I'm absolutely stoked to get this. Kai McWaters, you're a legend. Thank you for selling it to me. Hope you enjoyed your trip. And I'm glad to actually finally get this in my hands. It took a while. But, of course, the great man enjoyed his trip. So that's all that matters. More shorts. Ant told me these. 2016 player issue shorts. So great year. Great bargain. Had to get them. Thank you, Ant, for that. Really, really cool. Also go with the jumper that I got of the grand final that year. This is a 2023 Hawthorn Hawks home jumper. This is a Lloyd Meek. So signed on front by Lloyd Meek as well as on the back. You can see the Skechers logo right in the middle instead of the ISC logo and the big ISC GPS patch. I actually feel like these jumpers were made by the old people that used to make Star Athletic jumpers. So Collingwood's old 2016 jumpers. Purely because the template of it, so on the shoulders, and you can see on the shoulders there, where that stitching comes down is exactly the same as what the 2016 and prior to that as well, Star jumpers had. Also, it's weird. It's very weird. We'll get into that later. Just the whole template, the side panels as well, that's very Star-like. It's actually very differently made. The whole jumper is totally different. So the color's different on the front as well as the side. The feeling of it's different on the front and the back. The GPS pocket is odd, but it's cool. And then on the back, you'll see the half circle thing at the top of the number underneath the KFC logo. Also another Star feature. So I seriously think that these ones were made in China by the same factory that used to make the Star Athletic Collingwood jumpers. So, yeah, bit interesting, bit of information there. This is a 2002 version of that three-peat series for the Brisbane Lions, obviously celebrating their 2001, 2002, 2003 premierships. And ironically, both of the last two jumpers you've seen for Brisbane in that series were played against Collingwood. So Collingwood got their got it back, got their revenge back 20 years later. Number 26, Connor McFadgen, nobody special, no longer in the club. We're almost there, I think. I don't even know. Got a few more. We did then pick up a 2023 Freo Dockers Retro with the Host Plus heat pressed on the front there. It actually doesn't look too bad if you're seeing it in the video. Up close, it's average. Very average. But we won't be seeing that next year. Signed on the front by Neil Erasmus himself. Very, very good jumper. Looks great. And again, they used our jumper to match all the details for this one this year. So that's why the quality is very, very good, because they used one that was actually a legitimate 2003 jumper to match it. That's getting a bit warm, isn't it?
My arms are getting sore.
Next one, Darcy Gardner 2022 Indigenous jumper. Absolutely love this Indigenous style. As you can see, it's in the old vein of the Brisbane Bears jumpers. So super cool. Love the design. Looks fantastic. And as I said, it's Darcy Gardner. He did wear it in the game. This one's actually filthy. He's got some dirt marks on the number. So definitely would have been match worn in the game, I reckon. So really, really cool to pick that one up. Pick that one up from the Brisbane Lions store. We're nearly there, Em. This is that Billy Dowling jumper that we talked about earlier. And it is tremendous. The Adelaide Crows, you can almost call it a retro jumper because it is the same design they wore a few years ago, back in the day. But it's different colour. So they actually wore this for the gather round.
Sponsored by Hungry
The last couple of years, they've been sponsored by Hungry Jacks, yep. As well as West Coast, yep. Yep, so sign on the back there by Billy Dowling as well. Honestly, I have no idea who Billy Dowling is, but I just really wanted the cheapest one of this design because it's such a cool design. The GPS pocket still freaks me out. It's got that really weird diamond in it. It's just weird, but hey, they needed to cut a gap in it, and that's the way they decided to do it, with a weird diamond. This one's an absolute cracker. Port Adelaide's retro jumper, so it's a very retro theme this mail day. Port Adelaide's retro. And you saw it on the day. And you loved it. Yep. She absolutely loved it seeing it on TV. Number 40, I can't even remember who this is, but Kyle Williams, I believe. Could be wrong. Very sorry if I import fans. But the best part of this, I believe, is the number. How cool is that number, Em?
Yeah,
The outline is amazing. No AFL logo, which I'm very surprised they've gotten away with, but that's the second time they've done that. I love it. Yeah, the Macaron jumpers, interesting. The front is still weird. I don't like that rough feel on the front, but the back is beautiful. It's a great feeling jumper. They look quite nice. Those are the 2023 Freo Retro match worn socks by Neil Erasmus. The whole kit was given to us. Shorts are there as well. That was also worn by Neil Erasmus in that 2023 Retro game against Port Adelaide. Super cool. The whole kit was given to us. Really, really cool idea. Hello, this is another retro jumper. This one is another Hawks jumper. Number 41, Josh Bennett's. Again, never heard of the bloke. I actually had to ask a Hawthorn fan who he was. But they're hopeful he'll actually get a game. But I love it. The retro itself is amazing. Obviously, everyone wanted the blue diamond, but this is a pretty good outcome for what actually happened. I think it looks really cool. It's got a little picture on the inside as well of when they wore that originally, which is really cool little feature. And we'll show you that real quickly. So that's when they wore it back in the day. That's actually when they won the Ansett Cup, I believe, in 1999. Also, just before we throw that, gently, by the way, the numbers, the watermarks throughout the jumper. If you didn't see it before, you can see the AFL watermarks on the yellow pieces there, or you can see it on the brown as well, but a little bit more pronounced on the yellow. The AFL watermarks, the old original AFL logo, all throughout the jumper as well, back and front. Yep, looks awesome. That's the best feature for me, is the AFL watermarks. That was a tremendous effort to do that. So well done. Hawthorn did very well. Next, we've got a few left. Not too many. 3 left. This one is one of the flood jumpers. So Gold Coast Suns did a flood drive, I guess, in 2022. And this is a player issue of Josh Corbett, who we got to know a little bit this year as well. Come bought some stuff off us after moving to Fremantle. Unfortunately, it's got the big dirty black mark on it, which I didn't realise when I bought it, but that's all right. It's signed by Josh as well. Cool jumper. Just really wanted it because it's Josh Corbett, but interesting to have that flood on it as well. 3 to go, so we've still got 3 more.
I meant 3 from that.
Okay, 2 more.
No, we've got 3.
Oh my God, still 3 to go. All right. This is the North Melbourne away jumper, the Bounding Roo. You could almost call this a retro as well. It's not, but could almost call it retro. Love this design. Looks fantastic. Puma make great jumpers. Well done, Puma. It's got the Shinboner 1033 on it, so that's a really cool feature. Yeah, the Puma jumpers feel beautiful. And this is Hayden Young's brother, Lachie Young, who plays for North Melbourne. This is exactly why I got it. Signed by Lachie as well on the back. But yeah, like I said, Puma make beautiful jumpers. Really, really cool to have that in the collection. This is a bit different. So it's not a footy, obviously. This is Perth Heat. So the Australian Baseball League, Perth Heat. This is their retro jersey from 2022. They wore it in, but this is the Claxton Shield 1952 design that they would have worn back in the day. This is just a real simple, easy, basic design. Number 29. No idea who that is. But cool little retro from something a bit different. We actually bought that from Perth Heat themselves. So if you want one, let me know. I can get you one. Final one is the Frankston Dolphins VFL team. Their 1000th VFL game. Made by IC. Really cool. No idea why I bought it, honestly. I think it was like $30, so I thought, why not? And it's pretty cool to have something from a team's 1000th game. They're really cool. They actually went out of their way to really momenticize the occasion. So pretty cool. That's it, Em. Congratulations. Well done.
My arms are burning. They hurt.
All right, well, no more jumpers for you to pick up, so you can just relax now. Just rest.
Okay.
That's it. There was a lot there. There's more than 18, I reckon. We do have a few more on the way, so next week we'll have some more mail days, so don't worry.
I'm not individually filming these. I'm sorry. If you want more details of them, send Darren a message. You can do it later. I'm not.
If you want to see any of those particular jumpers with the same way that Em filmed them, let us know by comment. Send us a message at this page, and Em will do them for you individually, but not every single one of them. We were a little bit light on with mail days previously, so that definitely made up for it.
Yeah.
So we've had a big off season already, and it's only just started. But we've got a few more on the way, so we'll have more mail days throughout the off season as we continue to film where we can. I was actually going to announce a sale next, but you. All right, this is Em's decision.
Just be like, ciao, adios, bye, people, and then just like in small, teeny, tiny little brackets at the end, be like, career sale.
We won't do that. We'll announce it properly.
I'm joking. I'm just being a jerk.
We'll do what we've seen on social media first.
Oh.
So a little bit of a change of pace. All right, Em, I got a little video for you to start it off, just because I pissed myself laughing at it the moment I saw it. So I had to include it. Here's the video.
Are we even allowed to laugh at that?
I'm either going to hell or everybody else is laughing along with us. So
We're going to get a comment that I have, I don't know. It was a noise at the end.
it's always better with sound effects. That's hilarious. Well done to whoever put that up, but I couldn't help myself. That was hilarious. Had to laugh. I noticed something during the week, this week as a matter of fact. Em, I'll just put the photo up and I'll see if you can tell me anything about it that you notice probably straight away. Anything? Can you see anything, Em?
Cherry?
Cherry. The St Kilda Football Club are now sponsored by Cherry. And if you're asking what the hell is a Cherry, we mentioned a few weeks ago that I bought a new car, and it happens to be exactly the same as that one on the right-hand side, the black Cherry.
They're actually called Cherry because they're called LDV or L. I think the full drive version of a Cherry is an LDV.
How dare you? LDV is a completely different company.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. LDV is a totally different brand. They look similar, but they're not the same.
Cherries used to be Great Walls. Like,
Nope.
Didn't they?
Nope. Cherry's always been Cherry.
Oh, well, moving on.
Cherry has always been Cherry.
Moving on.
They've just come back to Australian market after being in the Australian market a long time ago. But anyway, the St Kilda Football Club are now sponsored by Cherry, which is awesome. I'm still not going to follow them. But if you have a look at the middle of their jumper there, remember this year we talked about their sponsorship being the Men's Health one, Mosh, I think it was.
Oh, yeah, and we had no idea what it was.
What the hell is this?
And
And we had to look it up. And sexual health and all that. It was hilarious. But they're no longer sponsored by them.
I wonder why.
Sponsored by Cherry. In the middle of that jumper there, on the top of the collar, is now a Cherry logo, which is really cool, which means I have to get one next year. I didn't even realize.
What, a Cherry or a jumper?
One of these jumpers with the Cherry sponsorship on it, just because it has Cherry on it.
I don't go and buy out a jumper just because I own a Mitsubishi.
There isn't a team that's sponsored by Mitsubishi.
Well, that's not my problem. That's why I haven't done it anyway. I'm not going to go buy a Mitsubishi air conditioner because my car's a Mitsubishi.
Anyway, moving on. I will be buying one of those if I can get one because it's great. And also, I didn't even realize that they've actually laid the cars out in the color form of the team.
Oh,
pretty smart.
You turned into a Cherry snub.
I have, absolutely. I love my Cherry, and yeah, everyone should drive one.
I love that license plate where it was like Pop Your and then it says Cherry above it. Yeah,
pretty smart. Yeah, so that's the one thing I've seen and love that. All right, and this is something I saw last week, flicking through Instagram of all things.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a post; it was an advert. So you get those weird adverts that pop up, like a sponsored advert that comes up on Instagram. And I watched it, and because I immediately noticed something straight away.
Oh, I think I actually screen recorded the same thing to show you.
Surely not. I will show you this video now because, we'll show you the video. Like, hopefully you notice straight away like I did. But let's check it out.
It's Jutta, and I'm a massive AFL fan, collector, and a Western Bulldogs tragic. I was absolutely stoked when I was on eBay and I found this graded Marcus Bontempelli card. It went really well with the boots that I have of his, that he wore in-game and signed. It's nice to get two of his jumpers that he wore in his very first season of 2014 as well. I was also extremely lucky to have a large piece of my collection shown in the backdrop of this year's Retro Round photo shoot, which is also featured on the tin. Match worn and signed by Aaron Horton himself. But I can't go past this being one of my favourite jumpers. That's right, it's the Grand Final Player Issue 2016 Zane Gordy. I was in absolute shock when I was going through eBay listings and found this. Not only is it a rare jumper, the Origin Energy Bulldogs, it was Dale Morris's first year. This was his jumper, and it's now one of my absolute favourites. I'll be buying more AFL merch on eBay to fill out my collection, and you can shop too.
There you go. Just showed them the video. How good is that? Another one of us collectors getting himself on an eBay advert on Instagram. I didn't even know that was a thing. Jada, well done, mate. I know you watched the show, or you used to listen to the show anyway, because he was one, if you remember, he sent me a jumper a while ago. I'm pretty sure I bought the Scott West jumper off him, which is one of the best jumpers I have. And he put a note in the package and it said, "Love the work of the Player Issue podcast. Keep up the great work. Love listening to," or something like that. Really, really cool. I actually still have that note somewhere as well. I haven't thrown it out. Jada, well done. I didn't know you were such a fantastic actor. I love the pose at the end.
The luscious locks.
I can't believe that you haven't posted that everywhere and that no one else has mentioned it. So hopefully this is the first time everyone's seeing it. I don't know if you were trying to hide, but I love that. That was fantastic. Well done, Jada. And hopefully we can get some more people on those adverts and see some more hilarious shit. It was great. Loved it. What else have I got, Em?
I don't know.
I got a few things.
I'm out of the loop here. I don't know what's going on.
There's a few things to talk about what I've seen on social media. We'll quickly see this one. This is Rhea Ripley. We've talked about Rhea many, many times on this show.
I hate him so much right now. Mind you, I'm not liking her new haircut, so she's really putting me off.
This was at the Carlton Blues game against who'd they play? Forgotten who they played. It was a cracking game. They won the game, which sent them through to the preliminary final against Brisbane.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know why I can't remember, but I remember it being an amazing game. And it just happened to be that Rhea Ripley and Buddy Murphy, Matthews now, were at the game. So they went from America, straight from my show, to the game, and then went back the next day, or the next couple of days, I believe. So that's how much of a fan that Buddy Murphy is, and he's now got Rhea Ripley to be a big fan of Carlton as well because of that game, because it was such a cracking game. But how good is that? Talon was at the game, and he sent me this photo straight away and said, "Look who I just bumped into. Well done, mate." It doesn't get much better than that.
Good on him.
Yeah, really, really cool.
Does he watch wrestling, or did he purely just take that because he knew that?
Yeah, I think he watches wrestling, but
All right.
obviously he knows who that is as well. Yeah, real cool. We also seen this on Facebook as well. Somebody's wearing a Gavin Wanganeen Player Issue jumper in the crowd. Pretty crazy. And I think people went straight up to him and tried to buy it off him and said no because it was somebody else's. I believe, I can't be wrong, but pretty certain this jumper ended up on the page, the Port Adelaide marketplace, a couple of days later, trying to sell it. So
He probably told his mate like the amount of offers he was being played. Is there anything special next to him? The number 10?
Number 10, I would say it looks like potentially it's a Port Adelaide Magpies jumper, just from what I can see, but could be wrong. Port Adelaide fans, I'm sure, will let us know. It also might not be a number 10. It could also be a number 40, I think.
Oh, true, yeah.
But don't know. Could be. But yeah, that's also something we've seen when people wear jumpers at the games. Still just couldn't do it, but also wouldn't fit into one. So, and when we talk about when we really want to see dirty jumpers, and when people are buying match-worn jumpers, and this is how you want to see them. That is filth. That is beautiful. I mentioned earlier about the Shane Smelts covered in blood still. I love that shit. Like, give us the blood. Give us the filth. That is top quality filth right there. Yeah, tremendous jumper, that one. Love to see more of that. Hopefully clubs just jump on board and start sending them out filthy, because that's what we really want to see. And there's another little video I want to show you as well.
Mm.
This was before Collingwood and the GWS got and the preliminary final. Sorry, played that game. Nick Dacos had been out. Nick Dacos had been out for a little while beforehand, and he was making his comeback for the preliminary final. And this was the video that I mentioned, or that I saw. I don't know where I saw it. At Facebook, I think. Just made me giggle. Thought it was great.
Crazy. You don't want to mess with Steiner. He's hurt. Oh, God. What? Oh, look at that! Look at that! It's a miracle! No! Champ! Got it! No! He just wiped him out with the belt! The belt! He's gone! Kevin's the champion! Steiner's gone!
I've got the other one where it's Vince McMahon and Stone Cold. They were like, "Don't pick on Dacos," and he's just like, "Ding!" like the bedpan.
Oh, that was great. Well done, whoever made that. And he did come back and take the championship away from GWS. So there's a bit of truth to that video. Well done. What a player he is. But yeah, great video as well. I have one more video to show you, and then I'll talk about another thing I saw on Instagram yesterday. This video, quite funny. It's actually the Marmalade Boys that we were talking about earlier. We're talking to some AFLW players that were opening some cards on TikTok or Instagram. And this was the result.
Here with Modern Conti, we've got the AFLW team coach cards fresh off the press, and we're going to get you to open them up and see if we can pack yourself.
All right, let's go.
That's a very firm rip.
All right, so...
You want to read them out as we go? She's just gone straight in, looking for the Modern Conti card.
My mum wants my card. Okay, we'll start again. I think we might need to open another one. We have Best and Fairest, Tilly Lucas Rod. This is a cool card, actually. Liv Purcell, Melbourne. We have a sexy Grow. Woo, check her out. I wish I looked like that. Oh, we got the G Train. I'm going to frame that. I'll keep that, thank you. Isabella Lewis again. Taylor Harris. And that's it.
Oh no, it's going to be yours. It's going to be yours.
No, it'll be Katie Brennan.
This is so awkward. Oh, Katie Brennan.
Woo! Thanks, bye.
She's got a card. She's got a card.
Yes, you want it free.
She looking built too. Oh, big off season.
I love that there's no action for her.
She whiz. Go Rubes. You know what?
Take Breeze.
That's going on Mum's fridge.
How good. Love that. Great content. Marmalade Boys are everywhere at the moment. And they managed to get the AFLW players to do some stuff with their Indigenous jumpers on. And as you mentioned, that jumper looked great. The Collingwood one looks good as well. Caitlin Ashmore did a video with them as well, with the Hawks Indigenous one. Tremendous looking jumpers. They look great. That was really cool. Good job, lads. Last thing I'll show you. We've talked previously, I think. I don't know if we've talked on here about it. But we've talked many times about the West Coast Eagles Seacom jumpers. They were made by Seacom in the end. What we have mentioned is that we've never actually seen any of the Castore jumpers, the ones they actually did make and send to the West Coast in the flesh. We've never seen one. Now we have, thanks to John Rambo. He put up a latest pickup of his and just happened to be one of the Castore jumpers. At first glance, you're like, oh, okay, it looks pretty much the same. But if you get into the nitty-gritty and you can see these god-awful stitchings around the edges of the jumper, which were also prevalent on the retails.
I remember when we saw the retails, I was like, they are disgusting.
Yeah, they are awful. They just look cheap and nasty and just look like shit. So it's no wonder the club said, nah, we're not wearing those. They look shit house. I think the fit of them were no good either. They look quite wide.
Goes all the way down the back.
Yep. All the way down the sides and the back as well.
It almost looks like you put your t-shirt inside out on the wrong way.
It really does. And as a matter of fact, the first time I ever saw a picture of somebody wearing one, it's exactly what I
You
thought.
thought it inside out.
I thought it was inside out, and I thought that's
awful.
Stupid. So that's terrible, and that is why we've never seen one, because thankfully they were all burnt. So obviously we haven't seen one that were numbered, because I'm pretty sure they were all thrown straight in the bin. They just immediately said, nope, we don't want that.
Does that Castore, whatever they're called, do any other?
No, they don't do any AFL teams.
Oh, I wonder why.
They make some tennis shirts. I believe they're one of the biggest tennis shirt makers.
Yeah, maybe they should stick to it.
They actually make some rugby stuff for the NRL, and they actually look quite nice. They did quite well for the NRL. They also make some Premier League, Premier League teams, definitely women's as well. I've seen some women's. I'm sure plenty of people have seen Alicia Lehman wearing her Castore West Ham shirts. Plenty of those pictures going around. But there was also talk about those being shit too, because I actually forgot all about that until I started talking about it. People have been looking at these shirts because people look at the pictures of Alicia Lehman quite a lot. She's voted as the sexiest football player in the world, right?
Oh, is she that? She's a blonde chick.
She's a blonde chick.
Yeah, yeah.
With a lot of makeup. Her eyelashes are 10 foot tall.
People are like obsessed. Yeah, okay.
People are obsessed with her, yes. She got offered apparently £90,000 to sleep with her by a celebrity. That's why she's been talked about a lot lately. There's talk about her right now, pictures of her wearing these Castore shirts, because they get wet like immediately. As soon as you start sweating, immediately they're just
see exactly
soaked.
where this is going.
So there are pictures of her nipples quite erect all over the place. And it's obviously not going down too well in the feminist side.
Oh, it'll be going down well elsewhere, though.
Yeah, so, I mean...
These pictures.
But, yeah, of course, for research purposes, I need to see what's going on with Castore.
Glanced over.
I'd glance and have a look. Oh, yeah, they're not great, are they?
Come on, do show us then.
I haven't got them here, but I'll show you. We'll put them up. And we'll have a look. But yes, Castore also in the news in the Premier League. So even the men's team, same problem. The shirts are absolutely soaked. They look terrible. They don't look in good quality. When you just look at them, if they have
What's her name?
Alicia Lehman. So Lehmann, I believe. When you look at them when they're not worn, they actually look really nice and great. But clearly they don't hold up very well, because I think they're getting thrown in the bin in the Premier League as well. Probably getting made by somebody else. That's it, Em. We'll quickly show you the difference between the shocking, god-awful Castore effort. As you can see, there's a bit closer pitch up here as well. Much nicer view, but still, have a look at this. The terrible stitching.
I don't like it.
And also, there you go. There's your proof right there that they were made by Castore, other than the fact they were shit. They actually have the Castore wash tag on the inside, which definitely were not on the Seacom-made jumpers that they ended up wearing. And then that is a Seacom jumper. It has the Castore logo on the bottom right-hand corner, or left, depending on how you look at it. But they were made by Seacom because of that god-awful trash that they decided to put out prior to that.
Because she wears a lot of makeup, doesn't she?
She wears a ton of makeup. I don't know how she does it. So, yeah. Thank God they didn't wear that shit on the field. But, yeah, that's the first time we've actually seen it in the flesh. So, really, really cool. Thanks for John Rambo for putting up his latest pickup, because now we get to see it. Em has looked up the pictures in question.
I can't find them.
Can't find it. I'll show her later. We'll see her reaction later. That's what we've seen on social media. We're getting into the deep, dark depths of time. So we're moving along.
I'm starving.
Em's starving. She's getting to the point of the show where
It's
she starts getting annoyed.
midnight.
So we'll quickly move along.
I haven't had dinner.
We haven't got a wet yet, so it's... Calm down.
What?
It's midnight. We haven't got you wet. So
Oh, Gremlins, right.
Calm down. Oh, what the hell is...
We were just talking about wet t-shirts and fucking... erect nipples and.
All right, we're going to leave the auctions for next time.
Oh, thank God.
So something that you can look forward to on the next show. We will leave the recent auctions ending and the current
back
ones
and
for the next show, which will be in the next few days. We'll do an episode in the next few days, so we'll get to those. We'll also do COA talk on the next one as well. We'll leave that for the next show as well. But I do have some interesting things to show you about the COAs that are going around at the moment, and one that I previously had, which I have revisited, that somebody's now showing it or selling it, I think. I managed to see that COA again. I thought it was hilarious that it was a thing, and it's shocked everybody. So you'll have to see it. So you tune into the next episode, you'll see that. We'll talk more about COAs.
Read.
Talk more about COAs on the next show. Make sure you tune in for that. Before we get to the Freo Dockers locker room sale announcement, which we'll do after the next segment. The next segment, M, is for your questions, which I haven't sent you, so I can do that right now. I'll just give them to you.
Just give me your phone. Unless you don't want me to see you talking to your girlfriend.
Or girlfriend.
No.
I have no freaking girl.
The one with the erect nipples.
All right, M. First question.
V. Really?
Yeah.
She's alive.
Vita's alive.
Vita! Where have you been?
Vita's back.
Oh my
she listens to
God.
the show.
Hi.
Hi, Vita. Nice to see you.
Hear you.
You can see us.
Yeah. I was curious to know what you think of the new ISC template and materials compared to the previous ISC feather ones.
Mm-hmm. That was it, yeah?
That's it, yeah.
So, as I mentioned earlier, I believe that the new ISC jumpers are actually made by Star, the same people that made the Star jumpers. So they're very, very different to the ISC jumpers of old. When she talks about feather, she's talking about the Fremantle Dockers jumpers from 2013, right the way through to 2020. They had a feather material, feather because it was feather light. Super light, almost a sheen, satin type material. In my opinion, far better. And I actually said to a couple of the Hawthorn boys, I said, I can't wait to see what ISC managed to do with your design, your colours and your stripes and everything on their ISC template, thinking that it would be the same as the feather jumpers that we had in 2020 and prior. But that didn't happen. So they came out with this rough material like the Macron type stuff, and it's weird. And clearly on a Star template, not an ISC template. So completely different. It honestly, to me, it's not an ISC jumper at all. Besides the tag, that's it. It's the only thing I see about that jumper. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm a little bit disappointed not to see ISC. Clearly, they're not made in Fiji anymore. That's pretty obvious because the feather ones were made in Fiji. They're obviously, I assume they're made in China. A little bit disappointing, but the Fiji ISC warehouse or whatever probably doesn't exist anymore. So I'd say that's why it isn't made the same. So as far as I'm concerned, very disappointed, but it's still kind of nice. But they're not as nice as the Adidas ones either that Hawthorn used to have. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what the Hawks fans think about it in comparison to Adidas as well. I don't think they would like it as much either. Thanks, Vita. Appreciate your question. And please bring it on. Give us some more.
Jeff Butcher.
Jeff! The Butch.
Haven't seen that name in a while.
It has to be a while.
How do you treat players that leave the club via, this is going to hurt, Hamling and Schultz? Does it decrease the Guernseys you have of them?
Does it decrease the value or just decrease how many I want to have in my collection?
I don't know. It's just, how do you treat the players that leave your club via trades, sort of, etc.? Like Hamling and Schultz. Does it decrease the Guernseys? Does it decrease?
Yeah, I'd say he's missing a word there. I think he's saying, does it decrease the value for sure? Well, I'll answer it the way it could also mean. And will it decrease how many I want to have in my collection?
Does it decrease the value for you?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a hard one, isn't it? Because 100% it decreases the value for anybody. So if you're trying to sell a Lachie Schultz, for instance, after him leaving, the value of that jumper is not going to be anywhere near as much as it was before. There may be a Collingwood fan who may desperately want to get one of his jumpers in the collection, but then there's also not that many Collingwood fans who want to have a Freo jumper in the collection. So, hard one to say, but unfortunately, definitely drops the value. I've got a Jager O'Meara in the collection from the Hawks. Got it fairly cheap. I've actually been trying to sell it for a while now, and I can't sell it. No one wants to buy it. So purely because he's no longer at the Hawks, that people don't value him as anywhere near as high as if he was still there. So yeah, unfortunately, the value 110% drops immediately as soon as they leave. Liam Henry's jumpers would be worth chips now. No one's going to want Liam Henry jumpers, Freo-wise anyway, especially. Disappointing, but it is what it is. But as far as I'm concerned, he's a mate of mine. Lockie's a mate, as well as Joel, so that doesn't matter to me. If anyone wants to sell your Lockie SCHULTZ jumpers, no problem. I will gladly take them off your hands. Hopefully cheaper than what they should be. Because no one wants them, right? So I'll take them. Cheaper, much cheaper than what you have.
Or sell them.
Just give them to us.
Yeah.
But no, sadly, yeah, the value definitely decreases. But for me, sentimentality doesn't change for me. I still want to keep Joel's and Lockie's jumpers in the collection without a shadow of a doubt. Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate your question. Emma.
Next one is from Doug Slater.
The Doug.
Which club's retro/throwback design from this season's best represent the original?
Yeah, so great question because I think all of them this year were fantastic. Adelaide, I think, will have to be the least, purely because of the colouring. Obviously, the colouring change, but it's not to say it's not a great jumper because I think it is a great jumper. Hence why I bought it. The Bulldogs one is also fantastic. There obviously have to be some changes that have to be made to it because it can't be exactly the same, but it's pretty close. The Freo one is amazing. Like I said, they've took our jumper out of the cave and used that to match the details as close as humanly possible. So I think they did a really great job. The only difference being that in 2005, they actually wore a Bankwest sponsored version of that jumper, so they could have matched it the same color scheme as well with the Bankwest logo, but they're still stuck with the orange. Probably a Bankwest choice, but I don't know. They could have also asked a question, and I'm sure they could have come to an agreement. That would be the only thing I would have changed, but it's pretty close. The Hawks one is also fantastic, and the fact that they got the little logos, the watermarks in there, that's a very close second for me. I'm going to have to go Port Adelaide's just because it's incredibly close to the original. The only thing is a slightly wider white strip, but again, the material and the template is different. It's a wider template than the old Nike ones. So it is what it is. The stretching of the design, it is going to happen. But for me, it comes down to those numbers on the back. That's a loud car at 12:30 in the morning. Comes down to the numbers on the back for me. How they've gone the retro numbers without the AFL logo on them. That's a winner. So very close between Hawthorn and Port Adelaide, I think. But Port Adelaide win because of their retro numbers on the back and the cool outline. I think it looks tremendous. So well done, Port Adelaide. Thanks, Doug, for your question. The retro man himself. I would love to know what your answer was, Doug. What do you think it was the best one this year? Good to hear. Thanks, Doug, for your question. Next.
You've got Michael Clarkson.
Yep. Swagman himself.
Was that him, is it?
Swagman, because we'll come back to you later on.
Thoughts on Brownlow voting controversies?
Yeah. Well, plenty of controversy about it. I actually bought that Lachie Neale jumper before he won the Brownlow, so I was pretty happy when he did win it. It's never going to change until they take it off the umpires. I think having the umpires vote on it is a terrible idea. It needs to be a panel. It's going to be obviously very hard to have the same panel voting on every single game because then they have to watch every single game. They have to be able to watch every game without the influence of stats. So they can't go and watch the replay afterwards because they could easily find out stats and be influenced by it. So they have to have panels set up for each game to vote on it. However many people they have to be locked in a room, probably individually. So even together, they can't talk about it. They can if they want. I'm sure that's what the umpires do. Ideally, they just watch the game individually. They put their votes in, they leave, and panel of three people or whatever voted on it, and then there's your votes. The experts, as you want to call them. Will that decrease the amount of votes that midfielders get and chances are higher for defenders and attackers or forwards? I absolutely believe so. So I think it'd be better for the overall opportunity for everybody to actually win it instead of being a midfield medal, because that's all it is. Because the umpires are standing right next to those midfielders majority of the time with the bounces, stoppages, etc. They're always right there. So they're always seeing those players get their hands on the ball and have influence on the game. So it will not change. It'll always be controversial until they change the format of how the votes are made. That's the way it is. I'm sure Lachie deserved it. I don't know. I have heard quite a lot of people say he didn't deserve it. Also, I don't believe that Nat Fyfe deserved his in 2019 either. So it's hard to say. But we're not the experts. Apparently the umpires are. I think that's what needs to change though. Thanks, Mr. Swagman, for your question. We'll come back to you very shortly as well.
Mick Rush said, "Hi mate, loving the auction reviews." Can't see. Auction reviews that you guys are doing. It's really interesting. Just wondering if you knew what the highest priced 3 jumpers have gone for at auction over the past few years, and then in brackets like Dacos Grand Final.
That was me, sorry.
That's dumb, isn't it?
It is, but I was supposed to send you the questions.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway.
I put down what it was.
Well, we already know Dacos thing anyway.
The highest one in the last, what do you say, how many years? Past few years. So, yeah. Over the past few years, the highest one was Dusty Martin's Grand Final jumper. Went for $75,000. I believe that was the 2017 jumper. Sorry, it was the 2020 jumper. So the 2020 Dustin Martin jumper that was played at the Gabba. Interesting, actually. Very interesting. I have to have a look and see what his 2017 one went for. But this one went for $75,000 plus fees, etc., etc. So
very rare to see Dusty smile on a photo.
Yeah, that is very rare, actually. So that was the highest. The second highest was the Nick Dacos jumper that we've talked about already today. And the third, which I haven't got a picture of it, but from memory, and I seriously doubt anything went over it, was Gary Ablett's 300th game jumper. That one went for over $60,000. So the last I remember seeing of that, it was sitting around $66,000. So that would be the top 3 in the last few years. And I appreciate that you have enjoyed that segment and will continue to do it. Just not this week, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Just because we're running out of time, and I'm sure
everybody
doesn't want to hear us for the rest of the night. But thank you, Mick, for your questions, and everybody for your questions. We will get back to those segments next week or next episode. We'll record in the next few days. So this will be our last segment before we do the announcement. It's what's in the cave. Let's jump over to the wheel, and it's empty.
We do this all the time.
All right, Em. What number do you think we're going to get today? I'm going to go 73.
54.
All right. For those of you who don't know what we're doing, we're spinning the wheel. We're going to get a number. Em's going to go into the cabinets behind her. She's going to count that number out, find the jumper that's resulted in, and we're going to have a quick discussion about it, tell you all about it, and then we'll close the segment. Oh, no, it's not 3:45.
It's close.
Dale!
I don't like no numbers. That means it's
usually lower.
Thing.
Dale Gavrilovich, number 31. Thank you, Dale. Em's going to go and find that jumper. We'll be back with you very shortly once she's counted 31. I'll see you in a moment.
Oh, shit!
At least you saved the jumpers.
I saved all the jumpers.
Anything mechanical under there that should be worried about? We can just use one of these to mop it up.
No! Oh, no.
That'll be on that camera.
Oh, shit! Yeah.
What was the number again?
31.
Oh, no. No. Well, that was a mistake. Em's thrown the jumpers back at me. Camera up there's got it. And I have knocked the drink everywhere. So it's a bit of a mess in here at the moment. That's all right. We'll clean it up in a moment. Because we're nearly finished. Em's just counting the 31. She's got the jumper. So we can... Oh, have we talked about this jumper before? I don't know if we have. I don't think we have. All right. Em's got it. Let's quickly get through this because it's a mess over there. It's everywhere. It's very sticky already. So I need to clean that up quickly before
I'll go get the mop while you close the close the show.
So this is the last segment before we talk about the sale. Show us the jumper. Beautiful. Yes, it is a Fremantle jumper. I'm sorry about that, but I'm not sorry because how beautiful is it? It is a Fremantle Dockers 2006 Heritage Round jumper. Worn against, I want to say North Melbourne, but that's probably wrong because I think that was 2003. Or it could have been Melbourne. Might have been Melbourne, actually. As you can see on the front there, it's signed. And it looks like it's signed by number 7, Brett Peake. Because it is. Turn around, Em.
He's got a little smile at his...
He does. Also on the back, signed by Brett Peake, number 7. What is going on? And this is the same reaction I had when I pulled this out of a frame. So I bought this in a frame, and it was sold as a match-worn Brett Peake jumper. Pulled out the frame and seen this number 17, and my heart sank. And I was probably pretty annoyed and pissed until probably 2 years later, I watched the footage of this game, and I found a moment in the third or fourth quarter where Brett Peake got into a bit of a scrap, and his jumper was torn in half. Came back on the field wearing this number 17. So there you go. It is indeed Brett Peake match-worn heritage jumper from 2006. It is actually a Jared Schofield player issue jumper as well. So technically I have a Jared Schofield in the jumper collection as well. But it was worn by Brett Peake in that day. So beautiful jumper, beautiful design. Love it. They did wear the same design from 2003 through 2006. Just the heritage logo was changed, and a couple of the sponsor logos were changed, and some bits and pieces changed throughout the time as well. That is what is in the cave, my friends, today. Now, the announcement that you've all been waiting for. Em's out. Goodbye, Em. Oh, she's out. She won't be back before we close the show, no doubt. Maybe. All right, Em. The people want to know, when is the Fremantle Dockers 2023 end-of-year sale? Here she comes.
It's on the 11th.
Ah! She's trying to ruin it. So, exclusive announcement for you all. Fremantle Dockers, a locker room sale for 2023. Coburn Arc will be held on the 11th of November from 9 a.m. till 1 p.m. Make sure you get down there. There won't be as many jumpers as there was last year because last year they had a sponsor change, of course. So there was a lot of stuff there. So make sure you're there nice and early. We will be camping out again, and we will also be talking to some people in the line. So if you want to come and join us and do a podcast with us, then you can do so. We'll be there pretty early in the evening, probably 8 or 9 p.m. the night before we'll be there. And we'll be with our swag. So the swag man, Michael Clarkson, we will have also purchased ourselves a double king swag, which we'll be bringing down, getting a bit more comfortable than we did last year with 30 minutes worth of sleep, and it was very difficult. So this year we're bringing the swag, we're bringing some mics, we're bringing the video, we're going to do some chats with people in the line. We'll do a bit of a podcast. We'll put it up a couple of days later. But anyway, 11th of November, 9 a.m. till 1 p.m. Coburn Arc. Don't get there at 9 o'clock because you'll be missing out on a lot of good stuff. I hope to see you all there. And Em's on her way back with the mop. So we're going to close the show now. And we'll bring back the normal format with all the other stuff that we've missed out this week on the next episode of the show. Got plenty to talk about still. Em's going to clean up the mess that we've made. Thank you everybody up there in behind the scenes land. Em, see you later. Thank you for joining me. We'll see you on the next one. Thank you. Goodbye. Good night. Ta-ta for now. Adios.